Okay, I wasn't going to watch the RNC. I wasn't going to watch it at all at any time this week. But of course, I've been going over to a friend and neighbor's house, usually at night, past 9:30. We share a cup of coffee and then we talk and we hang out. He's way older than I am. And of course, he's that type of guy that doesn't pay for cable, doesn't use a laptop, he doesn't like phone apps, he still has a flip phone, and he still uses antenna complete with foil around it in order to watch basic cable channels, which I don't mind because we watch the news, we watch other news. Sometimes he uses YouTube, and then he got me into watching high roller slots and all that crap. And of course, he was watching the Republican National Convention this week. He was only interested in seeing what Trump was going to say when I went down there tonight. And I really wasn't interested. I didn't want to watch any of it at all. Um, but I watched it tonight. I came over just as Hulk Hogan was finishing up his shtick and leaving the stage. Oh, hold on. Shit. Yeah. And and I was able to catch all of Junior's speech. And I watched straight through until uh, Trump went on. I don't know, dude. You can't talk about, and of course this is probably solely because Trump got a little ear boo-boo, but all this stuff about unifying America and I'm for all Americans, not half Americans. First of all, MAGA is far from half of America, but besides that, you can't say you're not for divisiveness and then say that Junior son of a bitch over here gave a great speech. I noticed not so much mentioning just issues that are dividing the country. I actually noticed a lot of ripping off of left wing, liberal, progressive, democratic, all of that, talking points. Like they're all for this shit or they actually care for this shit. And they're not. I mean, Junior over here especially. It, no, you're not for anything that you're trying to say you're for. It's I don't know. I knew as soon as I saw it I had to say like something. I had to vent in some way, but maybe I will look up some numbers, but honestly, I don't think anybody has to. We've been reading about all this shit for years. I'm gonna stop as I go along. I'm sure a million people are gonna do this, but it, it, it was more cringy than Kid Rock. Put on subtitles.
Good evening, America. 8 years ago, my father sat our family down. He spoke of a nation in decline, of dreams slipping away, of a future endangered by failed leadership and broken promises. It was in that moment I knew my father had made a decision that would forever change our lives.
First off, broken promises, you mean like that wall Mexico was supposed to pay for? Promises the American people have been made or have been made to the American people regarding health care and college debt being forgiven and capping insulin prices and helping with medications and child care and the codifying of the recognition of women's bodily autonomy and all that kind of shit. That's kind of what the American people want. And I don't think your daddy-o has come close to giving the American people any of that. But okay.
We realized he had chosen to step into the arena, to fight for the soul of America. He decided to leave behind the comforts of his unbelievable business empire.
What unbelievable business empire would that be? Are you talking the real estate deal where, he was engaged in unfair housing practices, which are now seen as illegal? What unbelievable business venture did he leave? The bankrupted casino, Trump Steaks, Trump Magazine, Trump University, which stole money from people. The kids' cancer charity, where you stole money from sick people. The Trump sneakers, what failed business venture was unbelievable that he decided to give it all up? He was so rich and he was so successful and he was just a god among men, but had a calling to lead this nation.
Behind everything he had ever built. To answer
ever built and, bankrupted into oblivion.
The call to serve our nation. Unlike his predecessor, it was not a decision born out of necessity. Unlike the current president, it was not a decision that would enrich his family.
It wouldn't. He put his kids in his cabinet. He put them in charge of major national interests. He put Jared in charge of seeking peace in the Middle East. There's a genocide going on over there. They took over, what, $2 billion from the Saudi royals? For what? The American people still don't totally know. All their clothing made in China. China that he hates. China he wants to levy all these taxes against, tariffs against. Make us pay more, make everybody pay more. All this shit made in other countries, third world sweatshops. Your American flags say made in China on them. But no, his family wasn't enriched at all. They never took money. They never had other countries help them with their personal business ventures and then, stiff them after the fact. Oh, God. There's, I don't know. Whoops. Oh. I've been binge watching the old Roseanne, so I got that shit up here. What is this? Ah! Okay.
Rather, it was a decision made out of love for this country and a deep concern for America's future. My father was clear it would not be easy, that there would be a huge price to pay, and that the attacks would be vicious.
Yeah, we're all paying it.
Looking back, that was an understatement. The made-up Russia hoax, the sham
Shut the hell up.
impeachments, the efforts to destroy an unbelievable company, a company that I run today, the efforts to cancel us, to silence him, to get
When the hell have you been canceled? Musk bought Twitter so that he could amplify all you people. Who the fuck is forcing you to shut up? Hey, PNB. Silencing you, canceling you. Nobody loves canceling people more than the right wing. Get the fuck out of here with that.
his free speech and to drag him through every radical left courthouse in America.
Radical left. Who just declared that stolen documents case unconstitutional, which has already been appealed? A judge he appointed. Your side has completely destroyed and corrupted the Supreme Court. Radical left courthouse. What makes them radical? I thought you were the law and order party. Your father is a fucking criminal. Law and order is why he's been dragged through the courthouse.
To take his life. Yet through
That was one of you guys. You're going to sit up there and try to imply it's the radical left that climbed up a building like Spider-Man and tried to take out your dear old dad? Card-carrying Republican with an AK. That's who tried to take out your dad. And then I'm hearing this crap. It wasn't a bullet that grazed his ear. It hit something. It hit the podium, and then it was glass or fiberglass or whatever the hell it was that came up and nicked his ear. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I have been reading so many tweets from real veterans in this country who took bullets for America, who took bombs for America. Your dad got out of the draft by lying about bone spurs. Then he got his ear nicked, and another guy was killed. One is still in critical condition, or two others are still in critical condition. Those people took bullets.
it all, he's shown unwavering courage and determination, not just in public, but in every private conversation with me and our family.
Of course, I'd pay to be a fly on that wall.
profound love for this country and a love for all of you, the American people. That man is my father. That man is the 45th president and soon to be 47th president
Don't hold your breath.
of the United States. That man is Donald J. Trump. Each time I've stood on this stage, America's been at dire crossroads. In 2016, many people began to doubt the promise of America. Our economy was struggling, jobs were scarce, our standing on the world stage was weak at best. Veterans were forgotten, our military was in shambles.
Then why did all you people vote against everything that would have helped the veterans?
Our educational system was broken, ranked 30th in the world. He could no longer tolerate an inept administration that handed $150 billion to Iran, a country that chants death to America.
And who the fuck did you people just give billions of dollars to?
Or witness the continued attacks on our Constitution and our religious liberty. Or see the
Let me explain to you something once and for all. Nobody is stepping on your religious liberty. You can worship whatever fucking God you want. Nobody is stopping you. This is why I say Trump can't try to pretend he wants to play nice and then in the same breath say that this loss over here made a decent speech. We know what this is code for. When you say religious liberty is being trampled on or whatever the fuck it was he said, what you mean is your religion cannot be made into a law in this country. You don't like that other people believe different than you. You don't like that freedom of religion also means freedom from religion. The freedom for you to choose whatever religion you want, whatever path you want. There are many people, most people in this country, and I want to make that clear too. These religious nut jobs that support Trump and the right, or are using the right, and the right's using them to try to get ahead, they don't care about your freedom of religion. They want their own freedom to tell you what religion is going to be an official religion. What religion they want in every public school, in every public building, on every street corner, on every billboard, on every commercial break. Nobody is taking away your religious liberty. You are actively trying to take the liberty away from others. That is one of the highlights of your party. It doesn't matter what you think or say or do. Everybody in this country, you and the majority of America, know this to be true.
respect shown to our unbelievable law enforcement officers who are being disarmed, defunded, and persecuted each and every day.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Ask any victim, ask basically any random person on the street if they think police are being disarmed in this country. Police are hardly being defunded. You know, that's another thing the majority wants. They want a defunding of militaristic police. Persecuted. What the fuck do you mean persecuted? These people get away with more than your fucking father does. These people kill with impunity. Name a crime. They're guilty of it.
He could no longer stand to see words like Christmas stripped from public use.
Nobody is telling anybody they are not allowed to say Merry Christmas. Nobody is telling somebody that they are not allowed to say Merry Christmas when they walk down the street. Come to me in a few months, and with the way stores decorate way too early for the holidays, come to me in September. Come to me a little over a month from now, and I'll show you a Christmas advertisement display in every store window of every shop in every town in America. I will take you out and I will show you 50 billion middle-aged ladies wearing those cheap-ass Santa hats with the jingle bell necklaces, and I'll show you freaking coffee shop employees with the freaking antler headbands and, you know, the sweatshirt mock turtleneck combo with the frosties and the Christmas trees on them. Go to Home Depot, you'll see a whole bevy of Christmas trees and tree skirts. By September, October at the latest, they won't have Halloween shit out anymore. They won't have harvest shit out anymore. All the stores will be filled with Christmas shit. Nobody's telling anybody they can't say Merry Christmas. And nobody is telling anybody they are not allowed to celebrate Christmas. You know what this is also a euphemism for? What he's really saying, but he's not saying. He's really careful not to say it the right way. You don't like that other people out there don't celebrate Christmas. You don't like that you have to be mindful and respectful of other people that don't want to join the office holiday party, or they don't want to join in on a Secret Santa, or they don't want kids in the public schools to be taken aside for a day and sing Christmas carols. Okay, America is a melting pot. Believe whatever you want. Other people have the right to believe what they want. Some people don't celebrate Christmas. Some people are Jewish. Some people are Muslim. Some people are Hindu. Some people are Buddhist. Some people are atheist. In fact, that is the largest minority in our country. The largest minority in our country is either secular, atheist, or agnostic, just non-religious, or don't spend any time thinking about religion or spirituality at all. I mean, Bill Maher proved this shit years ago in his documentary Religulous. And I can promise you the numbers have only gotten bigger since then. Secular, non-religious, atheist, unaffiliated, all of that is a higher number in this country than blacks. It's a higher number in this country than Jews. It's a higher number in this country than gays. You want to talk about DEI. You want to talk about minority groups or minority groups you don't like, let's put it that way, taking over everything. Like Bill Maher said in his movie, this is a minority group that could feasibly get any fucking thing they want. And yet we still have to hear this shit from you. Christians are under attack. All you good God-fearing people, you're all under attack. Everybody hates you. Those people are declaring war on Christmas. They're declaring war on your religion. The fuck out of here, Eric. The fuck out of here.
The Pledge of Allegiance removed from our schools.
No pledge has ever been removed from schools, ever, anywhere. American flags are flown in classrooms. The Pledge of Allegiance is spoken in classrooms. It was when I was a kid. It was when my sister was a kid. It was now that my nephew is a kid. Another way of being careful not to say exactly what he is trying to really say. Pledge of Allegiance should be forced on kids in school. It should be forced, which of course directly goes against, that whole freedom thing in this country. I remember when I was in school, sometimes I stood for the morning pledge, sometimes I didn't. It didn't mean I hate my country. It didn't mean I was a communist. It didn't mean I hate everybody next to me. It meant I was busy with something and I didn't stand for the pledge. And nobody said anything because, you got to admit, there are certain things from way back when that actually were better and did make more sense. One of those things was nobody ever said anything to me if I chose not to stand for the pledge that day, because that's absolutely my right to do that. I didn't whine and bitch and complain. I didn't interrupt the pledge. They did it over the announcements, in fact. It wasn't just an in-classroom thing. It was a school-wide announcement every morning. I just didn't stand if I was busy with papers or whatnot. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. And nobody said anything because nobody can. It doesn't mean anything. And nobody ever accused me of feeling a certain way. The fuck out of here.
But my father saw potential where others saw despair. Donald Trump built the New York City skyline. He did so during a time when businesses were turning away from the city he loved. Crime was rampant. The streets were dirty. But he had the Midas touch, and he turned those streets and neighborhoods into gold. He faced every challenge with tremendous vision and grit. As he did during the 2016 election, he rolled up his sleeves. He remained unapologetic. He did not care to be politically correct.
Oh, we know that. Actually, he did care to be politically correct. He was very careful to say, my African American over there. You know he was being really, really careful. Just like all you motherfuckers. DEI is the N-word. That's what all you fucking cretins do nowadays. You go on social media, even if it's the Musk-owned Twitter, you go on social media, you want to say horrible things, and everybody knows a right-winger when they see one. Everybody knows because they're they're like at an intersection of uneducated, abusive, piece of shit, racist, sexist. It all collides at one point. And just like if you know somebody who's abusive, just like if you know somebody who's ignorant or uneducated or just racist or sexist or whatever the hell it is, there are a lot of recognizable traits. And, you know, one of the traits is just like if you're at a party and these people try to chum up to you and they test the waters. They test the waters by making jokes. And based on whether people laugh or not, they either go further or it's just a joke. And that's how they feel out who they can just open up on. Now, if you're truly not politically correct and you don't care about being politically correct, you would just say whatever the fuck you want and you wouldn't care who you offend or what the consequences are. But there are still consequences. There are big time consequences. These people don't like that there are consequences for that. So they're all over social media and they all use these little code words and code terms and euphemisms. They do exactly what this asshole is doing on the stage tonight. They look for ways around it because they're looking for ways around a ban. They hate all these people, but they'll be damned if they get shoved off of a platform. They need that platform. They need Twitter. They need Facebook. They need YouTube. They want to be able to say whatever the fuck they want with impunity. They don't want to face consequences for it. Even your great and mighty Orange Fuhrer father, Donald Trump, Eric, knows that there will be consequences if he says the wrong thing. You all know it. That's the reason you hate DEI. That's the reason you hate the war on Christianity. That's the reason you hate most of the people you hate. You want to rule everything in this country with an iron fist. You want to be at the top of the chain, top of the pyramid. You want to be head of the pack. You want to be completely untouchable. You don't like the idea of consequences. You don't like the idea of pushback. And for some of these people, probably a lot of them standing in that audience tonight, if they have just a tiny little smidge of a soul left, they know deep down what they're thinking and saying and doing is wrong. But that's par for the course for conservative Republican right in this country in our age. This is the real sickness. This is the real rot in our country. This is the real problem that needs to be addressed. There are people out there who are just selfish and greedy and bigoted, and Trump gave them the ability to feel good rolling like a pig in shit, to be proud of their ignorance and their poor education and their bigotry and their racism and their sexism. And you know, why should you bother to change if you've got somebody telling you that you're right and everybody else is wrong? I don't know.
been ignored. He restored.
When the fuck, nice pause, by the way. When the fuck have white Christian hetero males been ignored? What the hell have they gone through that people of color, that women, that indigenous First Nation peoples, that LGBTQ, trans children, bullied children, the sick, the poor, have not fucking gone through? Because again, let's face it, you are of, by, and for the rich, white, hetero males. It's in your slogans, it's from your supporters. You put it on Truth Social. You are so out of your fucking gourd. I can't even believe you go as far to say some of the things you people say. Millions of Americans who have been ignored. How are they ignored? Because gay people demand rights, because women demand rights, because black people demand fair and equal treatment, because scientists demand that you fucking listen to them when they tell you there's a pandemic, when they tell you climate change is real. What is that thing, a lot of people have been saying on social media? A lot of good quotes from different people, like, to somebody who has always had everything they've ever wanted, equality will feel to them like oppression. This little prick right here has no idea what oppression is. There are millions of Americans out there who know what oppression feels like. This shithead has no idea what oppression is. But he and the people he represents feel ignored. Another euphemism. What he means is other people are starting to clap back. They're starting to demand change. And that threatens people like him. They don't like it.
The American dream. Under my father's leadership, the economy climbed to record heights. Jobs were created at an unthinkable pace. Unemployment reached historic lows across all levels.
Unemployment is at historic lows now.
Wage growth soared. He cut taxes for hardworking families and businesses. He slapped.
Are you fucking out of your mind?
Regulations. We saw the greatest 401k increase in American history.
You see, you don't even have to double check and look up these things to know he is pulling it like one of those clown scarves right out of his ass.
People bought their first homes in an environment that saw 2 to 3% interest rates. They started their.
My sister was able to buy her first home because of special incentives and grants that Obama put into place. Okay, during Trump's time, she can't find a home that she can afford. So far, it hasn't gotten any better, but then again, in the past few years, she's all but given up. But during Obama, she had a home. During Trump, She lost that home and could not afford another. Just like that.
Families. My father made the United States energy independent with the lowest gas prices in decades.
Oh my God.
My father made the United States safe. Our borders were closed. There was peace in the Middle East.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
Soleimani, al-Baghdadi, the terrorists were dead.
Yeah, and SEAL Team 6 under Obama killed Osama bin Laden. What's your point?
My father made the United States respected again. With the
No, he absolutely did not.
courage to walk into countries like North Korea. With the courage to impose tariffs on China. And
Nobody wanted to deal with evil dictators because nobody wanted to deal with evil dictators. Your father isn't some hero because he saluted North Korean generals. Your father went to countries like North Korea because he admires those people. The fuck out of here.
with the courage to tear up trade deals that cost Americans their jobs. He brought manufacturing back to America. Small businesses flourished. He did what he promised. He put America first. We were winning. Donald
Not exactly.
Trump made America great again.
If that was great, we're already in big fucking trouble if this asshole gets to the White House again.
But he also created a movement that threatened the special interests and the political elites, a movement that cast a bright
Political elites. Political elites. That would be you. That would be you. You know, your sister and brother in law are over $2 billion richer. You were born with a silver spoon up your ass. Your whole family are spoiled. You have no idea what oppression is. You have no idea what work is. You have no idea what it's like to suffer or to want for or need for the most basic things in life for survival. But no, let's call the other side elites because it sounds bad. It sounds bad if you bring up the privileged life that you lead and your whole family has led, while other people are actually working for the rights of everyday Americans. Elites. Because nobody likes elitists. They're bad. They're those uppity people with a lot of money who think they're better than everybody else, and they don't care about other lower groups of people. The fuck out of here.
light on the institutions weaponized against the American people. You see it in our schools. God bless the moms who fought back.
And there we go again. God. Another euphemism. Weaponized systems against the people. How about weaponizing the Supreme Court against the women of this country? More than half your fucking population right off the bat. And state by state, getting all their most basic, not just civil rights, human rights. These are internationally recognized human rights that you are stripping away from women because of what you did with the Supreme Court. No, schools and God. What that means is teachers are telling children to read books. They're teaching children about the reality of the world around them, about the reality of their fellow Americans they live next door to, our friends, our neighbors, our future co-workers. Some people are gay. Some people believe in different religions. That's the reality. Nobody's trying to turn children gay. Nobody's trying to turn children trans. Trans people are like less than 2% of the fucking population. But this is your worry. This is the weaponization of systems against American people. That Mr. Schindler wears a wedding ring because he's gay and is married to a man and has a picture of his husband on the desk at school. That's your concern. The fuck out of here.
You see it in your workplace. You see it on every news station, in every newspaper.
You see them everywhere. Them. You see it. It's everywhere. It's a nightmare. It's something out of a 1950s horror movie. It's like an alien invasion. They. And what they do you think he's talking about? LGBTQ.
You see it in the military. The most iconic military installations on planet Earth are stripped of their identity and renamed.
You want to know something? When you and Daddy-O and the rest of the guys in your family decide to drop what you're doing and serve the United States by joining the military for at least 2 or 3 years or whatever it takes for you to do a tour, go through basic training, maybe face some gunfire of your own, I'm sure all of the veterans of America will be happy to hear about what you think about what they're doing and putting up with in the military.
Fort Bragg, Benning, Fort Hood. You see it in Hollywood. You see it in our two-tier judicial system. They don't even hide it anymore.
They don't hide it. They don't hide it. They're not hiding the fact that they're homosexual. And by the way, did you see that post from one of the CEOs of that or the heads of Grindr? He said in Milwaukee, where this RNC took place, traffic to Grindr in that area has skyrocketed. Skyrocketed. Because, as he says, and of course he would know, the RNC is the goddamn Super Bowl for Grindr as an app. These people are going to this convention and they're getting out after vilifying you for being LGBTQ. This motherfucker's up here talking about LGBTQ like they're a disease. Like these human beings are space aliens. But he won't outright say it. He's too much of a pussy to just say it out loud. I hate gay people. And all these people, probably including him for all we know, are going to take off at the end of the night. They're going to hit up Grindr and they're going to find some guy to suck their dick. That is a fact. I got to get going here. You know what? I don't even fucking know if I want to go over any of this shit anymore. I'm sure you saw it. Yeah. And now Musk has turned Twitter into a pro-Trump campaign engine. Icon of Trump after his assassination attempt on the MAGA hashtag. Pops up after somebody uses the hashtag. He has now pinned Trump ads to the Explore tab and Trump 2024 to trending. They cannot be muted or removed. And what is he donating like every week or every month or whatever the fuck it is? Something like 54 million? Can you picture all the good that can be done in this country with that kind of fucking money? That the guy who bought Twitter because he wants it to be the main source of unbiased, factual only information, and he's totally fair and he's totally going to lead the charge on stomping out misinformation and disinformation, and that's why he really bought Twitter, is using tens of millions of dollars on a routine basis to support Trump for re-election. And he's pinning advertisements for him, inundating every user with Trump shit that you cannot mute or ignore. And it's not like everybody didn't already know from the start that this was what he meant to do with this platform. He was going to drive it right into the ground. But, it's just the lying. It's the delusion. It's like it's just the lack of self-awareness. Like he keeps telling himself he runs the platform that is all about factual information. Now that's something that's far out space nuts. That's something that's like out of They Live. It boggles the mind. It's now that's one thing they keep saying at the RNC that I totally agree with. This country has become fucked. And it's not because of gay people. It's not because of black people. It's not because some 12-year-old wants to grow his hair out or wear nail polish. It's not because like less than 2% of people in this country are transgender. It's not because there are no Bibles in schools. It's because of these fucking people. And anytime something doesn't go their way, they want to take it away. They want to take your very rights, some of them, like I said, basic, common sense, internationally recognized human rights away from you. Fucking Junior son of a bitch tonight, he actually had the gall to go on about single working mothers and people who have to work 3 jobs and people that can't afford medication. And then he goes into men are in women's sports and it's destroying their dreams. Yeah, that's destroying their dreams. In your world, those female athletes better hope they never get an ectopic pregnancy. Those female athletes better hope that the condom holds out or that they'll even be allowed to purchase a condom. That is what's going to destroy their lives. That's what's going to destroy their careers. looking at going to the Olympics and then having the rug yanked right out from under them because, they got raped by a coach and now they're pregnant. And the rapist couldn't even use a condom because, they banned all contraception. And now little Susie Q can't go to the Olympics. Now half the fucking swim team can't be on the swim team anymore. Because they're all pregnant and they don't have choices anymore. Under Project 2025, he goes on about veterans. How dare you go on about veterans? Anybody can look up what covers veterans in Project 2025. It takes everything away from them. Everything. It takes everything away from criminals or suspected criminals. It takes everything away from schools. It takes everything away from working Americans. They want to destroy and get rid of overtime pay. They don't want you to make overtime pay. He's talking about people that have to work multiple jobs to make a living, how they can't afford homes. They're not having children because they can't afford to have children. But they don't want to raise your wages. They don't want you to get overtime pay. They want to eliminate Social Security. They want to take away birth control. They want to take away a woman's right to choose. So, in Trump's America, under Project 2025, you won't have a choice. You will be literally pregnant and barefoot because you won't be able to afford a fucking pair of shoes. Because you can't afford a home, you can't afford groceries, you can't afford medical care, you can't even work flipping burgers and expect to make an extra dime for staying over because you don't have overtime. So you're going to be making even less money. You can't get ahead. You can't save any money. And now you're pregnant and you're not allowed to have a choice. So you're going to be saddled with a kid without a living wage, without a home to live in, and no women's sports anymore because female athletes have sex too. Female athletes end up getting pregnant too. I mean, I could just keep going on, but I have erupted enough. If I go any further, I'm just going to outright blow a gasket, scream. My expensive headphones are going to spread out because steam will come out of my ears. And, another kicker in all of this, they still want people to think there's some majority in this country. This is all shit nobody wants. Nobody wants these people. The only ones that want this shit are pro-life religious freaks. Religious freaks need this party to get their agenda pushed onto you. And this party is already unpopular. They need the religious freaks so that they get the money to advertise. And they get those cushy jobs. They get behind the desk. They get into office. Junior son of a bitch here doesn't give a fuck about you. Republicans don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about women, minorities. They don't care about this whole country, not just half of it. Again, you're not half this country. Half this country are still making jokes about the shooting. Half of this country don't want any of you anywhere near public office. and they just continue to delude themselves. And it's all a big no you. Yeah. Yeah, you think they care about poor single mothers? You think they care about gay people? You think they care about me and you? They don't. They don't. They bring that up to plant a seed into gullible people's minds that they care about these things because they brought them up. And then the speech, it's full of thinly veiled threats against the people they don't like. And who don't they like? Anybody else that isn't them. They don't care about you. I don't know. I'll see you in World War